So yes, before the sun goes down, just wanted to get a little quick plan. This plan always changes generally due to some new option that becomes available. But currently the plan is to work this area. This is the training ground for the poor little birds. Like I said, I'm going to just move the fence because my gate is here currently. So I'm going to come across and go. It's rectangular and I'm not square. I'm going 3 by 8 or something instead of 4 by 4, whatever this is, 3 by 6 or whatever the math is. It doesn't matter. Because there's nothing for them here. I thought I was going to let them work this little mound down and they're going to eat this grass. They're not interested in grass if they can get out there and get worms and bugs and stuff. There's enough grass in this central area in the orchard rather than this. It's pointless to fence that off and let chickens. Like I did run through there with the whippersnapper and cut it, but it's insignificant. So, but the plan is, I'll show you later. The plan is to work this area. Just bring the fence to here. This is going to be my second little field. Because of see how it's no good. The fence is no good going over an area like that, right? So I cut these channels and that makes it basically 3.5 or whatever 3.5 times 4 is meter sections by 4 meters wide, little fields or areas or beds, whatever you want to call them. So I'll get that in there tomorrow. Again, I scraped these chips off the top here, and then I dug this out and put it on the bottom. There was some straw that didn't rot. A lot of it did, so that was nice. You can see the bugs and stuff. Maybe, I don't know, you can't. That's flying bugs, and then there's bugs crawling in the ground and underground and everywhere. So there's lots for them to eat. And we'll chip that after when I'm done again, so to keep that. We don't want to have a dry barren area right in the middle of everything, because it just dries out a certain area. Works like the sponge in reverse, right? And it evaporates water out. So but for right now we'll put the fence and then it'll work down or whatever, and then the next time I come through with the fencing it'll be a nice level straight place to get a nice good fence, like tight fence, not floppy like this. This is no good. So anyway, back to the plan. So there's 2 sections there. Just move the guy down, move the racer down every day, and then same thing, scrape these chips off. I kind of like the way, just do it in little sections, just do between 1 tree a day or whatever, so there's less ground exposed. But I think they're going to get a lot better, so they're going to start digging a lot faster and better. They've improved, like I said, already. So they're just going to get better at it. Bring them down through here. I cut this grass today. They're going to be there for 3 or 4 days, I don't know. This grass will grow back. It'll be perfect length for them to eat. They like the grass, but they'd rather eat a bug, of course. Bring them down here, wherever the fence ends. Again, whatever, let them eat this little bit of grass here. Wherever it ends, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. As soon as we get that done, we'll go a major move. I've been moving them while they're walking around. The idea is to close the door on them, move the house, take the fence down, move the house, move the racer, and then put the fence up around them. But the back 40 here, they'll start here and come a section. These trees were the ones that the mice ate the roots. They just, none of them are going to survive. Well, the 2 that I said were going to survive are surviving. But anyway, I can replant here, so I won't have to protect. I'll only have to protect those 2 trees. I'm going to let them go through this, chew it, till it, dig it, whatever. do a section, then I'll plant squash and beans, whatever, in whatever. This is all stuff I put down. It's not just, I mean, just in the last month or two, so it's not a great place. But these little trees will serve as points. And I'll get some comfrey. I got some comfrey going over here. My first comfrey came up just yesterday. There he is. So I'll put one of them in each hole. I ringed it with beans. They should be coming up shortly. I don't know, a bush bean. Maybe that's a bush bean. I don't know. It could be that weed. I don't know. Looks a lot the same. Well, and they won't be back here again until the fall. Just let them run through here and do what they can, get what they can. Scrape. I mean, I'm not worried about leveling. I'm gonna just spot plant. Just need a little bit of good dirt in a little circle, not even as big as your hand, and plant your squash. If you want to do beans or something, you got to do a row, whatever. So they'll come and race down through this little section, and then we'll move into this area and cut some of this weed. It's that weed. It has well, it's not a weed. No plants are a weed really, but it has a orange. I can't really see it on this one. It has orange bud. That's what it looks like. I'm not sure what it is. They love the leaves. I don't know if it's very potent, strong. I don't know if it's making them stop laying eggs, but if it does, I'm not too worried about that. So anyway, this is, we'll keep them off that area. Of course, this is our, look at that willow. It's our willow fence line all the way along. But this, of course, we couldn't plant because it wasn't ready. Look, this was much worse last year. So we'll get them to graze this down, browse this down. Goats would be better, of course, but we don't have goats, so. And then I'll get in here with a load of, get at least 1 meter, 2 meters of chips down to plant again, continue our willow to get this fence up. Shove that in this fall. And again, I see the lumpy here. We'll just plant trees and bushes and, you know, berries and all that sort of thing. There's some 72 walnuts there and 15 here already to work with. We got some stuff. I'm not sure what these guys are. We'll just work around that. And then from here, we'll bring them down into this grass, which is pathetic in comparison. They're not going to make a living off this grass. But that'll be a month from now or 6 weeks or whatever. And then maybe not. Maybe only a month. But I'll have spinach, I'll have kale, I might even have rutabagas that I want to thin or whatever. I'll have food to feed them, and they can, and there's bugs. There are bugs flying around. There'll be food, and we'll rehabilitate this pasture with the chickens. I'll have to cut it down once with the whippersnipper, just 2 or 3 days. It won't be hard to figure out when you need to move. 3 days from now, then you cut the weeds or the grass, and then fresh grass will grow up, and they'll eat it, and they'll poop, and I'll bring, like I said, bring the grain, whatever. We're working on a couple options for waste of some kind, any kind, garden waste, vegetable waste, restaurant waste, bakery waste, whatever. And we'll bring our own food in, and kale we're growing, and spinach, and all sorts of things, whatever it is, rutabagas, thin the turnips, whatever. Sweet, not sweet, but mangels I got growing. So, and then we'll rehabilitate this pasture, and we'll race them up and down this area for most of the summer when we have just an excess of stuff. If I can't sell my sweet corn, they'll eat it. They'll eat it, not dry corn. Why would I feed a chicken dry corn, for goodness sakes? What a retarded thing to do. I'll feed them that. They'll have zucchinis. We'll have, maybe I want to prune a squash or whatever. I'll have grass clippings. I'll have There's just beyond untold amount of stuff that they can process in here, and all their poop basically will go down, and their, you know, everything. And like, they'll eat the grass, they'll make use of it, they'll level off these ant hills, they'll, you know, and then the apples will start, and the cherries, and the plums, and we'll have waste fruit, and we'll race them around this whole orchard type area we rented right directly beside us. Just couldn't be more fortunate. And improve this, and we'll go back and forth, and then later in the fall we'll see what we get. If we can get some good areas, you know, some areas are obviously going to be better than others. You can just see, look at this area, is pretty thin, and it's all dandelions and weeds, where the grass is a little heavier there. So it's obviously in better state, right? So maybe this area we just like hardcore bare scorched earth policy here, haul the food in, just feed them, let them kill it, and then we'll move them and plant sweet clover, or, you know, whatever in the work that they've done. In other areas we can stockpile some grass, we can feed them give them an area with grass. Even after the grass stops growing, we can stockpile it alive, you know. And then there's fruit here that falls from these trees. No shortage of stuff to feed them. In a couple years, we'll have a little, quite a nice pasture here. So it's going to be good. And here we are back again, and then we get back, you know, we're not going to just go around in a circle quite like that. We're going to go back and forth a bit here, maybe around in a bit. And then we'll come back here, we'll have harvested the grain. Since I'm going to plant it staggered over maybe 3 weeks, we'll harvest, you know, and every grain is different for growing season or whatever. They'll come back, swing back through here, and, you know, they'll go through and they'll knock the stalks, whatever I've left, and they'll kick out the roots, and there'll be grain laying around, and there'll be more bugs, and there'll be more worms for them to eat. And then zoom back down there, clean that all up, and then, like I said, we'll plant. We're not sure. There's a fall, I got to do fall rye. Maybe that'll all be fall rye. Who knows? After they rush through it, and then they can graze that again in December or in March or April, and it'll regrow again at least once, and then it'll be, you know, a grain crop, whatever. But that's basically the circle they're going to do. Round and around, round and around the chicken racer goes.